97.1. Good afternoon. We didn't do it on the board today. If you want some picks, cash the ticket. Stuff's posted. Beach bets from Valenti himself. Sir Pucks-a-Lot Kenny Cott with a hockey selection. Don't miss it.
Yeah, I even gave one on the 5-star zone.
Oh.
The lone Big Ten game tonight.
You like the Spartans?
Number 17, well, I think this fits your thing. Number 17, Indiana, coming to the Breslin Center. Emotional night. MSU, when I last checked, I think was favored by 3.
Yep, unranked, favored over ranked. Mike was too much of a coward, and Evan pushed back. And
So long as Mike doesn't watch it from the beach, we're good.
Good.
You know he turned the game on at the end.
Had to.
Michigan State game.
Had to. No other explanation.
State was up 6. Mike turned it on. And then he was like, man, don't blame me for that. Okay.
Just sit on the beach and enjoy yourself. Micah Parsons.
Thank you for turning the game on.
Micah Parsons. Nobody asked him to do this, but he decided, why not? I'm just going to dog Detroit for funsies on social media. So if you guys have followed this saga, Amon-Ra St. Brown has been pushing for Jalen Ramsey to come to Detroit. Said, hey, Jalen, if you can hear this, I know you played with Goff. Detroit might be a landing spot. Talk to me. Talk to me. Parsons says, no one's going from L.A. to Detroit, with a bunch of laughing emojis. The question is this becoming a destination or not? Have the Lions done enough to change their reputation league-wide? And the obvious answer is we're going to find out in a couple weeks. But I want to ask Lions fans who are used to this place not being a destination. Did last year move the needle? Do you expect free agents to pick here? You don't have to overpay, but guys want to be here. They want to play for Dan Campbell. They want to play for a team that's coming off a winning season, a team that's favored to win their division. Do you feel like things have actually tipped the other way, or is Micah Parsons right? People don't want to come and play here. 248-539-9797.
Unfortunately, I think Micah Parsons may be right. Whereas it kind of goes in hand with Detroiters and our stars and how we treat our stars, and we act like they're a lot better than what everybody else sees them. You hear that whenever the trade talks come up.
People are Detroit good.
Oh, right. It's like, are you NFL good or NBA good? Or are you Detroit good? It's like, oh, well, we could trade Tayshaun Prince for LeBron James. No, you can't. You probably couldn't even get Bronny James at that point, and he was in diapers.
The worst of this was when the Tigers were good, and they'd be trying to add at the deadline, and people, I'll give you a Brennan Bosch for,
Right.
Sorry, nobody wants Brennan Bosch.
Right. So it's where I think, and I say that to say the Lions will have to do what they did a few more times. Think about this. If you were a free agent and you had your choice between Cincinnati and Detroit, Detroit would have to overpay for you to go there. Because you would think, I'm going to go to Cincinnati, up-and-coming team. You know what? They got Joe Burrow. They got a lot of pieces. I could be that thing to get them over the top. Detroit, contrary to popular belief, did not make the playoffs. I know it feels like it, but you didn't get in. So you're going to have to get in, and you're going to have to show people that you're a lot better than what you are. Now, did you overcome a horrible start at 1-6? Absolutely. But unfortunately, you got a ways to go. You got to do this probably 2 or 3 more times before you become that destination city. Or maybe you get your wish and they get the quarterback that you believe in and say, oh, well, I want to play with Bryce Young. So you know what? Maybe Detroit is that spot. But, yeah, right now.
You don't see it?
I don't.
See, I think things have tipped the other way. I don't think you're just going to get anybody and everybody.
You're not going to put it this way. You're not going to get the cream of the crop. You're not going to get the top players.
I want to put some context. These are the teams with the most cap space. The Bears, the Falcons, and the Raiders. Those are the top 3. I'd rather play for the Lions than those teams. Now, if those teams overpay, you might not get the guy you want. But I'm going down the list. The Giants are 4th. Maybe you can make the case they're a better destination, bigger city playoff team. The Texans are their 5th. I don't think anybody's
But see,
racing to go play in Houston.
But see, I think that can change because I think Houston's going to be a player, and they're going to go out here and get one of these quarterbacks. And they're going to, you know what? We got the number 2 pick. We got cap space. We got a lot of stuff. What if we hit the accelerator button and go get a QB, now.
I think coach is more important than quarterback when it comes to drawing free agents. And if you paid attention to the Pro Bowl, Max Crosby's talking about, hey, what's it like to play for Dan Campbell? He looks like a great coach to play for. The Dan Campbell thing is real. I do think guys want to play for Dan Campbell, especially after seeing them have success.
It's real, but I don't think it's that real. When it comes down to it, it's the best way I can put it is it's like when I follow recruiting. And there's always that hot coach that kids like, but in the end, they still sign with Alabama. In the end, they still sign with Georgia. They still go to Notre Dame.
Well, Rico, I don't think people are going to pick the Lions over the Bengals or the Lions over, I guess, your Niners, although the Lions have more money.
But it's the NFL. So the money, you make the money. Mm-hmm. The money gets found. I mean, the Saints shouldn't have played a game last year. They were so far over the cap.
Sure. You can make the mental gymnastics and the cap gymnastics and find some money, and wouldn't you know it? But, Rico, this isn't the Lions team of a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. No. This is clearly more desirable for free agents. So when Micah Parsons comes in with an opinion that feels 3 years old, I'm like, dude, you're not paying attention.
No.
In addition to the city being nicer, the football team is a hell of a lot better.
Jim, 1 year means if you want to sign with the Lions, you're cutting edge. And that's okay because maybe you're ahead of the curve. You see something here. But most people need to see you do it a couple of times. Like this year, I needed to see the Cincinnati Bengals go out and do it again. Did you luck your way into the Super Bowl or are you really a bad team? No, they came back and Joe Burrow said, not only are we good, I'm one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Okay, I believe in you. You look at the Chargers. I think you're good. You're good. That's where the Lions are right now. I think you're good, but you can't get out your own way. No. You don't make the playoffs, but you got something there. I just don't know quite what it is.
I look at this Lions team, and maybe the league doesn't yet. I look at them and say they went 5-1 in their division. They should win the North this season. Do you want to sign on a division winner?
Think about this.
I would think so, regardless of if it's Detroit, whatever that perception is. This is a team that's got a likable coach in a winnable division with a big season looming. Absolutely a destination.
You went 5-1 in your division. You didn't win the division, and you didn't make the playoffs. This is why people still make fun of you. Because you don't have any accomplishments. You don't have anything to hang your hat on. And you don't have that star player that I want to play with because that guy is the truth. So I'm not talking badly against the Lions. I'm saying you got to go and play how you did in the second half of the season. Next season, if you do that, now I think you start warming up to people. But right now, if I'm a free agent, man, I'm leery because I don't know if that was a flash. I don't know which Lions team is it. Were you the early team? Were you the late team? But if I got to sign with you for a few years, I need to know definitely you were that late team.
I think they're the late team.
You think, but you haven't.
Rico, but it makes sense. You make sense. You go from a 3-win team where you're bad. It's the first year of a coach, you're bad. Then the first month and a half of the next year, you're still figuring stuff out. You got a young roster, one of the 3 youngest rosters in the sport. It would then logically make sense as you got your feet under you, as the scheme was settled, as you found, hey, guy like Aiden Hutchinson, how do we use some of our young guys? We'll stand them up. You figure some things out.
So here's what you need to do. Go to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and people will now say, I can be that last piece or so. You played well at the end of the year, and you got nothing to show for it.
Okay, Rico, I think the Lions were one of the 5 worst destinations for a long time. They are no longer one of the 5 worst teams to sign for in the league. I would argue they're in the top half, given what's staring them down in the future here. Where would you rank the Lions in the desirability of the NFL landscape? Because under Patricia, it would have been dead last. It's not that anymore. So how much have they improved?
It's maybe not dead last, but I'm not quite sure it's in the middle of the league yet. Look, I'm with Rico here when it comes to I don't think they've done enough to change the minds of the NFL yet.
Detroiters.
They haven't made the playoffs. Yeah. They haven't won the division. And I think that's the thing that needs to happen before everybody's minds are changed.
So are you predicting a disappointing free agency? Because I think Lions fans
think
not getting a marquee player.
Then yes, disappointing.
Yeah.
Because if you truly are a destination or you've become more of a destination, you've got the money, you've got the coach, you had some wins, you should land a free agent. I think that's the expectation of Lions fans. I don't know which one it's going to be. Some people like Deron Payne. Some people like the corners. The expectation I feel from Lions fans is they're going to get somebody. They're going to land somebody. And if
Now,
Parsons is right, they're not going to land anybody of consequence, and it's going to be a lot like last year where you get one-year DJ Chark and guys feeling it out. You think it's going to be more like last year?
Where I think you go and you get some guys who are fringe players who maybe need a shot. Like, you know, you get a guy like a Pollard from the running back from the Cowboys who, okay, he just needed a shot to be the everyday back. Every game, get all the carries. But, yeah, you haven't won anything, and you don't have that marquee player. Now, I know you're saying Dan Campbell's the coach, but, okay, but the coach hasn't won it. Like, Bill Belichick, I go play for him. He's won titles. Even though they haven't won anything, all right, well, I know he knows how to win, so I'll go play for him. I think this is one of those cases where Detroiters will overvalue Detroit because we think we're more special, but everybody else is like, son, you're not that good yet.
Say it differently. You think Lions fans are headed for disappointment in free agency?
If you're expecting a marquee player, yeah, unless the Lions just pay stupid money to somebody.
And I don't think Holmes is in the business of overpaying. We all respect him, and he's not going to do something.
I think it's going to be like last year where you get a Chark. You get somebody on a 1 or 2 year deal, somebody who's a little long in the tooth or, got a little damage or baggage to them. Yeah, you're going to bring that person in. But I don't think you're going out and getting one of the top players to come here.